I want to crack the code of Pi Network. So I brought on the co-founders here, Chang Dao of Dr. Chang Dao and Dr. Nicholas Kokkalis of Pi Network. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bryce. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So you guys are based out of Palo Alto, is that right? Up in Silicon Valley?
Yes,
that's right.
Nice. And why start Pi Network? What was the grand vision that really got you guys to say, you know what, we're going to dedicate the rest of our lives to this project?
Well, Pi Network was started combining all our academic and personal interest. Nicholas is a hardcore computer scientist with expertise in distributed system, which is a precursor to one big component of blockchain. And I myself is a social scientist. So with the second half of my PhD doing human-computer interaction, that's where Nicholas and I collaborated on multiple research projects, studying how to build computer systems to scale and to be used easily by humans. So at the time that, when we were at Stanford exploring with the students, building decentralized applications, we've noticed that, in the industry, there is a big problem of, a lot of technology, but there is no good enough social network in order to build decentralized applications that allows a typical required process, such as user iterations. So this is combining our interests of distributed system, human-computer interaction, social computing, and also the excitement about building a large-scale human movement. This is where we build Pi Network.
So is Pi Network like it's a digital currency, but it's also a social network, if you will, and so people could interact. Could you kind of walk us through, if somebody were to download the Pi Network application, what would they be expecting?
So it's a digital currency in the sense that you can mine it, and you can mine it on the mobile phone directly. As part of the mining process, you contribute to the consensus algorithm. And it is also the entry point to the Pi ecosystem, where you can see and use different Pi utilities.
Fantastic. And so what are some of the popular applications that you've seen people develop on the Pi network, or maybe with the Pi cryptocurrency?
Well, to start, there is a very important step for us to migrate our social network to our mainnet blockchain. And the key step is called KYC. And one application of the Pi cryptocurrency is that people can pay Pi to get their IDs verified in order for them to migrate to the mainnet. And this is a very strong utility in the sense that, native currency Pi is used to pay for real human labor that result in valuable work in the world.
And so people need to, so right now they have like a test net, and now there's a transition to the main net. And in order to get onto mainnet, you need to KYC. Can you kind of tell people maybe a little bit about why people need to KYC? And for those who don't know, who are listening, what is KYC?
Okay. So KYC is generally known as a know your customer process. And a lot of, traditional businesses require KYC to, for compliance reasons, to know your customer, to know who you are providing the service to, especially financial related services, generally is required. And so Pi Network doing KYC is, for one, of course, as much as compliant as possible. Second is also for our own policy. For example, in Pi, we require one person per account. This means that this is one of the defense mechanisms of our network to prevent fake accounts migrating to the mainnet.
So we are, and we're having this KYC solution. We needed to build it in-house for multiple reasons. Scalability is a big one of them. And scalability not only in the sense that we have a large network of people that spans across almost every country or region in the world. And we are talking about tens of millions of people. And we couldn't find any KYC solution out there that could have solutions for every single country's IDs. Number one, about scalability. But also number two of scalability is that there's no currently KYC still requires some human intervention. So there is a lot of machine learning and AI algorithms that are helping with liveness detection and with identification of the IDs and understanding what's on the ID documents, but it still needs some human support. So any KYC solution we talk to could only scale to thousands of KYCs per day, like small amount of KYCs per day. But in our case, with such a vast network, which we are preparing for the next billion users, it couldn't scale with just the thousands per day. So, for example, we did our first million KYCs in a single month. So that wouldn't be possible. And there were almost 500,000 people involved in the process of verifying the first million or 2 million people who KYC.
So that's a tremendously large number, especially when we talk about, crypto sort of networks. And, if you look at any of the DeFi apps, for instance, they have a few thousand users every single day. You look at some of these, decentralized metaverses, not pointing any fingers, not naming any names. Everybody's doing a great job. There's just not that many users on a day-to-day basis. NFTs, the volumes are down 99%. So my question to you is, man, how did you guys, grow to get, millions and millions of users? And what are kind of like the metrics that you guys have? Like you have 1 million users, you have 10 million users. And how did you get all these users?
Well, it comes down to the unique strategy of ours. And the core strategy is accessibility. And accessibility has three folds, I guess. One is financial accessibility. In Pi, everybody can mine for free. They don't need to pay anything to enter. Another accessibility is knowledge accessibility. We build our UI to be really intuitive. For example, the mining component, they can mine on the phone. So you don't necessarily need the computer science knowledge about setting up a node in order to mine. And then there is also the, system design accessibility. That is, in addition to people find it easy to mine, they also find it easy to use. So all these, factors contribute to the accessibility. And also the strategy of accessibility also have the result of, more fair, and more widely distribution of the cryptocurrency. So that makes us one of the most widely, distributed. We are now at, over 35 million engaged members and distributed in almost every country and region in the world, over 233 countries and regions of the world. So that's also ties into why our KYC process needs a comprehensive solution, because it's like every region.
Yeah, it's got to have a global sort of approach as opposed to country by country. That's fantastic. And, so Pi Network, there's a cryptocurrency, there's a network, there's applications, there's millions and millions of users. What's next? We have the mainnet, but what are you guys trying to accomplish with this, with Mainnet?